The first lesson of fear and love. I was sitting in meditation with my eyes half closed when suddenly I had a powerful vision. It felt as if I could perceive the entire spectrum of consciousness, an immense gathering of beings from across the universe. It was as though they were all speaking at once, part of a vast and overwhelming conversation. I found myself mentally saying, wait, I can't take this all in. Then a thought surfaced. Something that someone once told me. You need a spiritual guide, someone who can help you through this process. That idea returned with clarity, and I opened myself to it. Yes, I thought, I am ready to learn from a spiritual guide. At that moment, a strong image appeared before me. I heard the name Lahiri Babaji. I remember thinking, who is this Lahiri Baba? Though I was trying to be receptive, I also felt skeptical and nervous. I could bring myself to close my eyes again. I was overwhelmed by emotion, sensations, and the sheer intensity of the experience. Then he spoke. I'll show you something. I asked, what? He replied, first, you must let go of your fears. They are preventing you from becoming what you are capable of. I protested, but my fears are real. I can't just get rid of them. He responded gently but firmly. Fear is born from your thoughts about the future. It's not in the present, in the now. Fear only exists in anticipation. What might happen, not what is. That struck me. Fear only exists in anticipation. It was something simple, but it shifted something in me. So he said to me, if you can let go of your present fear, not the fear of what's coming, but what you're holding right now, you will begin to experience things more deeply. Then we began a sort of an inner exercise. It was unlike anything I've ever done. He told me, your mind is fluctuating, too active, too restless. You need to calm it further, even further. Let's go to the level of the grain of sand. And suddenly, I was there. He guided my soul inward into the smallest possible place within a single grain of sand. I found myself existing inside it, my consciousness nestled in something so tiny, so still. But then a thought crept in. What if someone can capture you now? You're so small, you're vulnerable. That fear triggered a shift. In an instant, my soul expanded, soared. I flew out of the grain of sand, past my physical self, and rose higher and higher until I saw the universe. And for a moment, I understood something vast. I grasped the meaning behind the image of Krishna with the universe in his mouth, that the soul can hold everything, that the soul can wrap around the universe. I saw it, the planets, the stars, the totality. Some words can't even describe what I was able to see at that moment. And then he gently brought me back into myself. We did it again and again and again. I traveled from the infinitesimal to the infinite until he said, okay, enough now. But I resisted. No, wait. You can't just stop. You can't leave me with this. I have to keep going. He just smiled, calm and firm. That's exactly the problem, he said. You always want the next thing, your next chase for experience after experience. But you're not sitting with any of it long enough to learn. And there it was, the lesson. Patience. To just sit with what was shown. To stop chasing. To trust that the depth will reveal itself if I stop running towards the surface. And I realized he was right. And then something else happened. My eyes had been half open during the early vision, but now I gently closed them. That's when it got profound. Profound in a way that startled me. I saw a candle flickering in front of me. Then suddenly, I was inside the flame. Not metamorphically. Truly, I entered the flame itself. I could feel myself within it, sitting inside the very molecules of fire. It was intense, but strangely peaceful. Then, just as quickly as I was out, and everything around me turned black, completely dark. From that darkness, an outline began to form. A shadowy figure emerged in front of me, and I panicked. I shouted, almost involuntarily, "Who is this?" Eyes wide open again, heart racing. And then I heard the message. That was your first real step into a new lesson. You're welcome. I sat there stunned. Who is this being? Could it be somebody that I know or have read about? It felt strangely surreal. Was this imaginary? Was it real? I didn't know. The name Lahiri Babaji came in front of me, but I was curious. So, right after, I looked him up immediately. And then something clicked. I remembered a book I had brought long ago, a yellow-orange cover with a saint-like figure on the front. The title was Autobiography of a Yogi. I'd picked it up, brought it home with me with the intent to read, but never finished it. Funny how these things circle back. I realized then that this wasn't random. I had finished first and went to the book and saw the man behind it. It was Paramhans Yoganand, whom I had heard through Sushant's YouTube videos. Sushant was an actor who had read about this great yogi and recommended this book. He had mentioned Kriya Yoga path introduced to the West by Yoganand. And it turned out that Yoganand's guru was Lahiri Mahasaya Babaji, the guru who guided me and continued to guide me many more times afterwards. And the short presence of Lahiri Babaji, the very being I had seen briefly. I started looking at their images. Lahiri Babaji's presence felt powerful, his gaze penetrating Babaji's image. His mentor evoked reverence in me, even fear. There's something awe-inspiring, otherworldly about him. But Lahiri Mahasaya Babaji's softness is something so kind, so gentle, a gentle joy, His photograph often shown him in simple sitting, smiling, seen even playfully. He wasn't a monk in a traditional sense. He lived in a household life, and that's what struck me the most. He brought meditation not to the selected saints, but to ordinary people, to those who had families, jobs, lives. He made the spiritual path accessible, not something to escape life from, but something to endure and enhance life with. This experience brought with it its deep understanding, one that has quickly given me a growing sense of who I am. I have long felt that in many lifetimes past, I was likely a monk or a nun, someone on a path of renunciation. And I remember, even then, trying to reach this kind of inner experience. But when I returned to the world, each time, each lifetime, felt somehow incomplete. Something always seemed to be missing. That something was love. As a monk, I believed I wasn't supposed to have love in the earthly sense. No romantic partner, no intimate companionship. That belief became a restriction, a subtle block that followed me through lifetimes. It limited how deeply I could experience the fullness of being human. So this lifetime, I chose something different. I chose to live as a normal person, not in retreat from the world, but in the heart of it. I wanted to experience the everyday joys, the chaos, the relationships, the laughter, the longing, and above all, I wanted to understand what love truly is. Most of my journey in this life has revolved around that search. Love as a connection, as longing, as fulfillment. For so long, I believed I needed to manifest love, as if it were something outside myself to be brought in. But yesterday something changed. I didn't say I want to manifest love. Instead, I said, I am fulfilled. And in that simple shift, something opened, a new door, one I had never seen before, unlocked. And through it came the presence of a guide, someone to train me, not in isolation, but within the dance of daily life, within samsara. And that's when Lahiri Babaji appeared. It's wild to imagine the name just coming to me in meditation. A being I hadn't studied, hadn't thought about consciously, but the name echoed clearly. I looked up him, and he was born in 1828, a spiritual master who lived a whole household life, a man who didn't retreat from the world, but embraced it fully. He meditated, yes, but he also worked, had a family, and lived within society. He thought that enlightenment is possible even in the midst of ordinary life. That's exactly what I had been asking for, a spiritual path integrated with real life. And somehow he came, not in a book, not in a dream, but directly, as if summoned by the readiness I hadn't fully known I had. It reminded me that saints, like those in Catholic tradition, also have mentors. They didn't walk these paths alone. They had guidance, spiritual channels, divine conversations. That lineage of learning exists even in every tradition, in every text, for those who seek it. We have just forgotten that we too are allowed to walk that path, that mentors, seen or unseen, can appear when we are ready.